I'd like to first start with talking about how she speaks on needing people over here for innovation, because the bill does have a specific means of getting people over here that have high levels of education. I'd like to go back to my previous point that if it's a non-labor job, we can get this done for about $2 an hour. There are plenty of people on the websites like Odesk and Fiverr that do things not data collection, but use their degrees to help you do your research. All these innovative things can be bought without us ever bringing the people over here. Any further expenditures past $10 an hour, even on jobs that we would value at over 6 figures over here, is too much of an expenditure. We can't afford it. There are other available means of getting this innovation done for cheaper. So when she talks about helping the economy, it hurts the economy because we're making expenditures we don't need to do. So they also talk about a lot of the work. So let's look at what the bill breaks down to. It's $30 billion over a 10-year period to hiring and deploying at least 19,200 additional Border Patrol agents. $8 billion will be dedicated to the Southern Border Fencing Strategy, of which $7.5 billion will be for deployment and maintenance of fencing. Only $750 million will be dedicated to E-Verify. E-Verify is the worker program we're talking about when we do background checks. So out of $30 billion, their main point is $750 million to where it's going. That's what we're focusing on, which is kind of absurd because $29.25 billion is going towards other things we're not talking about. $4.5 billion will be spent to carry out the comprehensive Southern Border Security Strategy, and if necessary, $2 billion will be allocated to implement the recommendations of the Southern Border Security Commission. So it's whatever they feel like they need another $2 billion. It's there to be allocated. So now let's look at what E-Verify is. The $750 million they're spending it on. E-Verify is an internet-based system that allows business to determine the eligibility of their employees to work in the United States by comparing information from an employee's employment eligibility verification form I-9 to data from U.S. government records. Because the system is not currently mandatory, only about 7% of employers in the U.S. are currently enrolled in E-Verify. Because it costs more. Again, we're making more expenditures we don't need to do. When we have all these other options to outsource, I don't understand why we would be hiring people that's going to cost us more extra work. After 5 years, it's going to be mandatory for employers to do this. Small businesses aren't going to want to participate, and the people we're bringing into the country aren't going to get these jobs. Like as of current, I'm a small business employer. When you raise the minimum wage, it makes me not want to hire people. When you affect small business, I don't want to adhere to it. They want to deploy 38,405 full-time border patrols. And that is in addition to the 19,200 more that are currently in place. So in total, that's 57,605 border patrol agents. Now the border is it's a little under 4,000 miles long. The border is a little under 4,000 miles long, and when we break that down, we're talking about, divided by 3 shifts, okay, there's 1,989 miles to the border, so that equates to 9.65 agents per mile. I really don't see us needing 10 Border Patrol agents per mile. Imagine driving from State College to Lemon right here, or Lemon to Euclid, whichever way you're coming from, and imagine there being 9 cops along the way. There's no way we need 9 supervisors for a mile's distance. It's absolutely absurd. And the way I break that down is when you have that number, you break it into 3 shifts, being generous, 8-hour shifts on a 24-hour day. Adds up to 24. So you'd have 9.7 for each one of those shifts. It's an excessive amount of spending. I would not acknowledging it when we talk about just doing E-Verify. Thank you.
So does that count for the 2 negative?
That's the second negative constructive.